Hey everyone, Drew Zapieri here. Today is March 17th. It's a big day here in Georgia for beekeeping season because I think many people in the southeast would agree swarm season's on. I mentioned that in a previous video, watching a lot of other people's videos, reading a lot of other folks' forum posts, and people are definitely catching swarms right now. I was out here 10 days ago, so I was checking on the swarm situation. Obviously my red hive right here behind me is definitely showing signs of swarming. I'm gonna check that today. Hopefully I haven't lost any bees as far as, you know, missing one and swarm getting away from me. We've had some pretty bad weather. We had a really bad cold snap here a couple days ago, and that probably froze some bees. Hopefully not. These were really strong colonies, so there's a good chance they were able to huddle up, but we're about to go check inside and see what we're working with today. So there's a lot to do. Again, today is all about swarm prevention, or, you know, maybe even making splits. If I go in there and I find some queen cells, or, you know, indication that it's time to make a split, I'm gonna do it now. We've got some good weather coming, a little bit of rain here and there, but as far as I can tell from the forecast, we're not gonna have another awfully cold day anytime soon like we just had this past Sunday where it was below freezing. So we'll get in these hives and we'll get started. All right, I'm gonna start in the red hive because that's the one that had the strongest impulse for swarming from the last time I was out here 10 days ago. So this video is gonna kind of be in quick spurts of, you know, fast forward essentially. I'm not gonna bore you all with me taking out every frame because this is gonna be a lot of frame by frame, going through, checking what our situation is, maybe looking for the queen, hoping to find the queen, and making a decision from there if we're leaving it alone or if we're making a split or what we're doing. So every now and again in those fast forwards, I'll probably pause it if I got something important to say, but otherwise, that's pretty much what it's gonna be. I figured I'd stop and show you all this. See that right there? It's not fully capped yet. There's a little bit of larva and jelly in the bottom. Kind of hard to tell. I apologize for the camera. You can kind of see those two right there on the top. See those? Both have a little bit of larva and a little bit of jelly. Like I said, they're not capped. So again, they're definitely in the process of trying to do it. There's also some play cups, or, you know, future swarm cells in the bottom. So got to make a decision on this one, what I'm doing. Still haven't found my queen yet. I'm gonna keep looking, but this is all in the super box. So just kind of showing you all that now is the time to be checking your hives, because at least here in Georgia, swarm season is on, like I said, and I knew mine were getting to that point. So let's see if we can prevent them from swarming or make a split out of it, but TBD on that. All right, everyone, so good news, I did finally find my queen. She keeps getting buried underneath this mass of bees right here. Let's see if I can blow some air and make her come out. See if you all can see her. There she is, right there. See her with that white dot? That's my queen from last year. I'm pretty sure these are carnies. I'm not exactly sure. I got these from North Georgia, but I believe this is a carny hive. They don't appear to be Italians. But yeah, that's awesome to see her. I'm very excited. So now that I have my queen, there she is still. She's touching antenna with one of her daughters. A couple of her daughters. I've got to decide what I'm going to do about these swarm cells. So the good news is obviously this hive has not yet swarmed. Still got those cups at the bottom. I'm going to try to secure her for a hot minute and figure out what I'm going to do before I safely reintroduce her back into the hive while I'm doing all this moving around. When I put the queen in a cage right there, a little clip I should say, she's in there, that's why they're all balled around the outside. But what we're gonna do, because this is now the second time in a 10-day period that they've been building those cells, and they got pretty far along. Like I said, I've put them in here. Again, these are on super frames. They're not even on deeps. It doesn't even look like they didn't even build any swarm cells on the bottom high body in the deep. And it looks like the queen was doing most of her laying in the super right there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually make an artificial split, or I mean it's gonna be a real split, but we're gonna convince the hive that this queen is gone. And we're gonna put her in a little 5-frame nuc over here, okay? And hopefully what that's gonna do is, once we put her in here with, you know, some brood, as in like cap brood, I don't want like any fresh eggs. I just want to put, you know, just capped eggs in there with her. It should convince her that she swarmed, and the hive should go upon their way and continue to raise those queens. Like I said, there's 3. They're not capped. Like I said, you kind of saw them earlier in the video. They're not fully formed yet, but there is larva and royal jelly in there, so they will continue going along, working those through. And so, you know, I may just let them try to raise a new queen in here, and if they do, great, no big deal. I am though going to put an excluder, just so I know if she does hatch out where she, well, you know, to be honest, she'll probably fit through. You know, scratch that. We're still in March. I'm not gonna put excluder just yet, but obviously we'll know if we got a new queen once all the eggs have hatched out. So for now, I'm gonna make that split, and I'll show you kind of what we're looking for when making the split, and go from there. All right, everyone, with this split that I'm gonna be doing, I'm pretty much giving them brood and food. So there's some pollen in here, there's cap brood. I don't really want any fresh larvae, believe it or not. The queen, I don't want the queen thinking, the second she gets in here, like, oh, you know, start raising another queen. Like, I want her to get in there and have fresh work to do. Already have some cap brood. I don't want the bees making any more queen cells, because again, this is our split. So this should convince the bees to continue doing what they're doing. I'm only taking 2 frames from the red hive. I'm gonna take 2 others from some of my stronger hives. So we're gonna kind of mix some bees. But for right now from red hive, they're just gonna take 2 frames. I'm gonna put 2 blanks. So again, so we're starting with, we're gonna take just some blank plastic foundation. Don't have any drawn deep foundation on me right now. And these are just gonna get dropped right in there. So let's see. So again, very strong hive. A little bit more conducive. We're gonna put, most of the cluster wants to stay on this side, and I think the reason why that is the sunlight hits this area first, so this area warms up. So it's not gonna really hurt them just to have 2 blank frames on the corner. But no reason to leave resources on the edge. That's not good. So I'm gonna take this out. This hive's been open for way too long, and the bees have not been happy about it. So let's give them that. All right. Give the old hive 2 blank frames of foundation they can work on. Yep. So that's good. Now what we're gonna do, I'm gonna take my queen right here that's been clipped. Kind of see her in there. Gonna move her over to the new hive. And then we're gonna let her out right here. Let's see if y'all see that. Apologies for the camera. Give her plenty of time to be able to crawl out, because obviously if you close this on her, she'll get squished. There she is. She's crawling out right now as we speak. There she goes. Almost there. Her daughters are grabbing her. Come on, get on out. There she is on the outside. She's being stubborn. That's what we'll do. We'll set her right here for her. She can climb in there and her. There she goes. See her go down? She just went down right in the middle right there. So I'm gonna close this up just temporarily. Obviously there's only 2 frames of, you know, brood and food, but we're gonna steal some from the others once I go into there. But let me button up the red hive in the meantime. All right, so moving on to the blue and green. You guys didn't see me go into yellow. I just did that, knocked that out real quick myself. Good news on the yellow is I did find my queen. She seems to be laying well. Same queen from last year, marked. So like I said, if I had it rolling, you guys would have seen that, but she is in there. I was able to take 2 frames from the yellow hive and move them into our new Nuc with the queen that is from the red hive. So that's gonna be the new red queen hive. I'll mark that here in a second. And here's to hoping red hive, with their swarm cells they were working on, are able to actually make a new queen. So right now they are queenless, so I'm sure they're freaking out, but they have what it takes to make a new one, so hopefully they're able to accomplish that. So let's move on to blue and green, see where those stand, and hopefully they're like yellow. Good news, we got the queen in the blue hive as well. So it's kind of hard to see her. There she is. So we're 3 for 3. Green's last, as far as making sure we have our queens. So she's looking good so far. Blue hive has the most resources of the other, you know, compared to yellow and red. They are packed, but I'm gonna get this one in there. I'm still gonna probably take 1 frame out of blue, maybe give it to our new mini red. And then, yeah, we'll get the red. Or I'm sorry, we'll get the green. And we're 4 for 4 on the queens. As you guys can see, I was working on the green hive there. There is our green queen. White dot, all the queens were born last year, so good to see. Like I said, we're just working through the super, about to go into the deep here in a second. We'll put her to the side and finish this so we can be done for the day. All right, almost done here with the green hive. Let's see. Got the queen. She's down there in the clip. I don't know if you can kind of see her, but she's laying down there. Let's check this last one. Pretty well stocked nectar. There's been a good amount of capped honey frames, but I've definitely noticed more capped nectar, which, you know, again, the bees are getting nectar from somewhere, so we're not in our flow, but obviously, you know, there's some trees and early flowering, you know, fruit trees or plants that are coming in at this time. I've seen all over. So they could very well be bringing nectar from one of those sources. But overall good. I'm just, like I said, all I've been doing is, this is very time consuming. I've been out here pretty much all day, just on 4 hives, or maybe not exactly all day, but I've been putting a lot of time into each hive because I've really been checking for swarm cells, which, you know, really it was only the red hive. That's the reason why we split it right here with a little rock to annotate the mini red hive. But all these other ones not really showing signs of swarming, which is great because that's what I've been trying to prevent when I was out here 10 days ago. So let's get these ladies closed up, get the queen back in there, so I know she's probably ready to go back in. They're very annoyed with me, which is to be expected. I'm missing comb. Don't want any of this hanging comb. See all that hanging off the bottom? I recommend you take that off. I know a lot of it's drone brood or future drone frames, but just get rid of it. It gets confusing when you see it and you're looking for swarm cells and all that's out there. You know, sometimes some drones die in the process, but there are plenty of drones in here, in all the hives. Take my word for it, and there will continue to be so for quite some time. Okay. Get these off. Alright, let's get the queen back in there. And then I will put a excluder on this. I've actually put excluders on these two, not the red one. But I've got an excluder right here. I've got an excluder right here. Like I said, none on the red right now because I want them to raise that queen and I don't want any interference with raising that queen. But all right, let's prevent them from being any angrier at me. Oh, they did not like that. I see her in there. I was trying to see if I could get you all to see her, but she's right. Let's see if I can get some more of these bees away. Right there. I don't know if you see her in there. Crawling around. There she is. She just looked at the camera in the bottom right. Alright, we're gonna get her in there. There she is. And she just went down. I just watched her go down. So she had enough. You know, you'll leave these queen clips out sometimes, and because if you had the queen in there, these little clips, sometimes, you know, she's leaving the pheromone behind. So I'll just set this thing off to the side. I mean, they were down here just because she was down there, but I promise you leave that there for a few seconds, they're all gonna join up on it, and you can kind of see them starting to do so. But they still smell her all over it, so they go out looking for her. They're much happier now that she's in there. So yeah, let me get the excluder on and do final thoughts. All right, everyone, that's pretty much it for today. I said overall it was a very good day, I'd say. Able to make a split, you know, we'll see if that's successful. Obviously, we've got original red queen and the tiny 5-frame nuke, so she should be able to just start laying. I gave her some resources just to get started with. Most likely, if I had to predict, I'll probably in a week have to, a week or so, put a new frame of, honey or something like that in there just to give them a little bit more food. I won't need to give them, though, any more brood, I don't expect. As long as she starts laying pretty quickly, I think everything will be fine in there. In the meantime, red hive all the way on the right, we're probably going to need to check in the next week. Probably wait somewhere in that 7 to 10 day range, kind of see where all those, they were swarm cells in the making. Like I said, they had larvae, they had royal jelly in them, could have squished them, but this is the second time in a row where I've seen them doing that. So red hive's been wanting to swarm. We're gonna let them think that they just did that with the queen being moved over to the 5-frame Nook. So let's see what happens. Like I said, worst case scenario, we combine if we have to, but hope is that we get a new hive out of this. So otherwise, yellow, green, and blue hives, they were very close as far as being identical, not really showing much swarm behavior. There were a few cups on the bottom of some of the frames, but I didn't see larvae in any of them. So none of them were even close to being as far along as giving a swarm impulse as the red hive was. So overall, like I said, good day. Good. I'm gonna take care of some other stuff, assembling some more equipment for the rest of the late afternoon, early evening. But yeah, we'll come back out here in the next week or so and check on our 2 hives in question and see where they're at. And in the meantime, hope you all are having a great week. Good luck catching those swarms that are out there, and I'll talk to y'all soon.